Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. It is night time right now for me, and I think it's a good time to do a bit of a story time. So this is basically a video that the general message is supposed to be that you should be very careful with implants. It's a very basic message that can seem very obvious at times, but I wanted to talk to you guys about times that I wasn't careful with my implants. And in fact, I wanted to talk to you guys about the time I almost lost 1.5 bill worth of implants, and even a 3 bill worth of implants the second time that happened recently. There's a particular reason I'm in this citadel right here. I've just removed my implants because I wanted to just go around, look for some wormholes. I want to see if I can find some wormholes to go into, and that is for a future video. You'll see if it eventually comes out that I'm going to be doing something in wormholes soon. So that's secret for the time being, but you guys will see that in due time, hopefully. So I'm basically just going to try to find some wormholes. Before we get into this story, I wanted to just announce the skin giveaway winners from last time. So these three guys here, Golfer, Rykane Tritter, and Make Esternea, you guys are all going to get yourselves a Caracal Scope Syndication skin. So if we go here, Scope Syndication skin, you guys here are all going to get yourselves your own Caracal Scope Syndication kit. It's going for 690 million ISK right now. So if you don't like it, you can always sell it. I won't mind. So you guys are all going to get one of these each. Congratulations. And don't worry guys, there are definitely going to be a lot more skin giveaways in the future. So let's get into this story. So first I'm just going to get these probes launched. But the thing is, I use high-grade crystal implants, so they're kind of an implant set that can be very useful for various activities in the online. So at the time this whole event happened, where I first almost lost 1.5 billion worth of these high-grade crystal implants. You need to know a little bit of the backstory, okay, what was going through my mind, okay? So this all started with me doing missions. So this all happened in the summer of 2020. So it was actually not so long before I started making videos about EVE Online videos. It was the summer of 2020, and I was doing missions for Sisters of Eve. And Sisters of Eve has a very popular missioning hub in the system of Langisi. Now, Langisi is a system that's really good for Sisters of Eve for many reasons. One of them being that it's got security status that gives it very high payouts, both the LP and ISK. So I wanted to, obviously do this. I said, okay, I'm going to do missions in Langisi. And I'd been doing missions in Langisi for a while. But one of the issues I had with doing them was that it's quite far away from Jita. Jita is my home. So if we go here and type Langisi, this system right here, and I set destination. See, it's all got a whopping 20 jumps to that, so it's pretty far away. It's not the nicest of journeys, 20 jumps is pretty, pretty spicy. You can get bored very quickly on the way there. But there is, in fact, a shorter route that I had been taking for a while. This short route here is just half the jump range. Like, amazing. Oh, it is 20 to 10. That's so good. You go just half the jump range like that. You can just get there in a couple of minutes with an interceptor. It's really nice. We've got a wormhole here as well. So I had in fact been taking this route for quite like maybe, I'll say a few weeks. I'd got used to using this route, this short route. So I was taking this route instead of my long route. And at the time I was doing missions in a rattlesnake, so I brought my high grade crystal implants with me, and I would then do this journey in a malediction interceptor because I thought that malediction is really fast. Like, that's one reason, but also because the malediction has an instant or almost instant align time, meaning it has a very easy time avoiding gate camps in low sec. So this is obviously the case that I can very easily avoid the gate camps in low sec. So it's no problem. If people are Gnosis sitting out there, Thrash is sitting out there, want to pop me on the gate, I've never been caught. However, there is one thing that can kill these insta-locking thing, insta-jumping things like an interceptor, and even Sunesis. Though Sunesis is a lot more difficult because they're a lot tankier, but my interceptor is not tanky, and they can easily get killed by smart bombs. And let's see if we get smart bombed right here. What is this in the unknown regions of space? No, it's not unknown regions of space. Okay, let's go to another system. So in these systems, there are in fact quite often at certain points of the day being camped by smart bombers, and you guys can probably see where it's going and where the story's going right now, right? So I went in. I was just one day just going to do missions like I had been doing for a couple of weeks, going through my typical route. Okay, typical route with there with my high-grade crystal implants in, not really being completely oblivious, you know, just thinking, oh, I'm just gonna have these expensive implants, and it wasn't even a full high-grade crystal set. It was like, it was without the Omega implants, so it was like 1 bill, 1.5 bills. It was not. It could be more. I went through, and then when I went through the one of the low-sec systems here, that was alright. Then I went through here, Ransa, and I didn't have a good time. I did not have a good time. So there was, in fact, a Macarial on the gate. He was there, and for you experienced E-players, you know that Macarial had a ton of smart bombs in him. And if you guys don't know what smart bombs are, they're basically these kind of things you essentially like a turret or gun. There is something you activate, and then it makes a big like force field explosion, like area explosion that just with the center of the explosion on your ship. Anything nearby takes damage. So you even, it doesn't matter how fast you warp away, you're still going to get caught in it. If it doesn't, like, you'll still get affected by this explosion. You don't need to lock up anyone to be able to take damage from it or to damage someone with it. So this guy, he smart bombed me. He smart bombed me, and he killed my malediction. And in fact, it was not just one guy. It was 3 people. 3 people. 3 Macarials sitting on that gate there to just kill my tiny, puny little interceptor. And while it may seem very overkill, which it is also something that is not uncommon to be seen, because sometimes you could get some very profitable kill mails from going through these, killing people who go through these gates. Just like I was, or almost what it seemed like it was about to happen. Because, as I told you guys before, I had my high-grade implants in, or my high-grade crystal implants in. A lot of ISK, over 1 billion ISK right there. I was so worried that I was going to lose them. That's one thing with smart bombs. Smart bombs is a very easy way to kill pods. Generally speaking, like if you want to kill a pod, you want to use smart bombs. If you really guaranteed want to kill a pod, because I mean, pods align instantly the same way interceptors do. So you can't lock it up really. Like you can't have like an insta-locking thing that can lock it up. There are some certain, I think, glitched or so-called ultra-locking things, but as far as I understand, it's extremely hard to lock up a pod or interceptor. But if you do use a smart bomb, it is always relatively easy. You just launch the smart bombs, and anything that's in range that's got very low HP will very likely die, because generally speaking, smart bombs have pretty high like alpha burst damage. They don't have a so good damage over time, so they'll often just one-tap you. And that's the case what happened to my malediction. He got one-tapped. I had this damage control right here, and these guys, I had 7k HP with this, and I still got popped. So this was something that happened, and I was going then, well, like when this happened then, like my interceptor was coming towards the gate, okay? When it was coming towards the gate, the smart bombs went off. My interceptor went boom. And all 3 of these guys use their smart bombs simultaneously. They all use them simultaneously. And the thing with smart bombs is that they have a very, very long reload time. Or not very, very long, but relatively speaking, compared to your typical turrets, they have pretty long reload time. So I was panicking, because I was thinking that I was going to lose my high-grade crystal implants. I was thinking, okay, that's it. I've lost these implants. You know, I can't get because these guys are here with smart bombs. They're going to kill me. But the thing is, all these guys had done their smart bombs simultaneously, like launched them. So they were on the cooldown, And in that little time for the cooldown, I had enough time to burn like a few hundred meters with my pod and just went through the gate. It was so funny. Just I going through there, just seeing those guys being able to kill me. Just like must have been less than a second. They would have been able to kill me. Over 1 billion worth of implants would have been lost right there. That was a very, very, very scary experience. But that's not all, because this whole incident led to a bit of a drama. Because as you guys can see here in this route, you see there's 4 low sec systems. So it's not like a simple case of it's just one low sec system and then there's a high sec system next to it. You just go through that high sec system gate and you're out free. No, I was in the middle here. I was in Ransa, and I in fact went towards, I think, Miroitem, because this happened here on the Miroitem gate in Ransa. So it must make sense. My pod went then through here. So I was essentially trapped here in the middle of these low sec systems. No, I couldn't really do anything. I had to get out here, and I wasn't sure what to do because there's smart bombs there. I don't want to risk it, you know. So what I did was, like, I should have. Like any person who wants to be risk averse would do it. Just I docked in a station and logged out, and I went and worked out. So when I came back, it was towards the evening. Then it was a little bit later during the day. I think 3 hours later maybe. And I got back, and I was thinking there, okay, it must have gone right. So I didn't want to bother checking because, like, in game. Because I was worried that the smart bombers would still be there. So I instead looked at Ezekiel, and what do I see? I see that people are still smart bombing. Like, I see kills that have been recently occurring that were not at all long ago since like the moment of me checking. So basically, people were there smart bombing my exit gates, like the gates to the next systems. And that was really, it wasn't even these guys, it was some other people. There had come another gang there to smart bomb in the same way. They were also using Macarials, in fact. So annoying. Like, people really, I wonder what kind of free time they do. They're just sitting there smart bombing all day. But then again, who am I to talk with who runs abyss sites all day? But I think that's obviously a lot more fun. Or whatever. I was just astonished by how these guys were able to have the endurance of sitting there for a long time smart bombing. And I was just thinking, oh, what the heck am I going to do now? Because even though the smartest idea would have been to go and log off again and wait until downtime. Just after downtime's up, I just get out of there. I think I was in a rookie ship or some sort, like a very cheap ship. Yeah, I was in a rookie ship. So I was thinking, okay, but how am I gonna break the blockade? How am I gonna get out there? How are we gonna escape from the situation we put ourselves in? So I had to get a little creative. So what I did was I bought a Punisher, because there was a very limited market, but there was a market in the system of Miroitem and O2 region. Like, there were some like small, very like sparsely stocked markets there. So there was a Punisher I was able to buy, and I bought Punisher. And I was thinking, okay, so the name of the game here is just to have a bit of tank. Because if I have a bit of tank and someone tries to smart bomb me, it should go well. And the reason was because, remember before in the kill mail that I saw there were 3 smart bombers here. I was looking at Ezekiel, and the guy who was camping the gate, it was just one Macarial. There was no one else there. So I was thinking, okay, if I can put a slight amount of tank on here, I should be able to tank him until, you know, I can get out. So I looked in the market, and what do I see? There is not a single tank item on the market except for compact large shield extenders. Compact large shield. I think it was compact, or maybe it was Tech 2, but I'm pretty sure it was compact. But what I did was I put together a Punisher, and I did something like this. I just put some like React control circuits and put a large shield extender, and I've got a Tech 2 one right here. But I had about 7k EHP with this one shield module on my ship. And that was how I tanked my Punisher. So I went then to the next gate. So I went to O2. And on the gate then towards O2, I was thinking like, oh wow, there's no one here. I went through even to in O2, there was no one there. Okay. So what I did was I looked on Ezekiel. Nothing's happening there, right? Nothing's going on. Okay. And this is after everything. Okay. I then warp to the gate that leads towards Heck, the Heck O2 gate, you could say. And when I get to the Heck O2 gate in O2, a ship decloaks in near the gate, very near the gate. It was a sin. A smart bloody bombing sin. A Black Ops battleship, the Sin, was sitting there on the gate, cloaked, waiting for some little scrub to come. And then he just decided to just smart bomb. However, I survived. My Punisher was luckily so tanky that it managed to survive all his smart bombs. I went to like 20 or 10% shields, like very low shields, but I managed to survive. The little scrub, I just could not believe it. I was so like pissed off because they're like, come on, after everything, like I avoided these guys. I've looked at Ezekiel. I've looked, okay, there's no one there. There's no one there. Oh yes. I bought this ship, put tank on it. Yes. And there's still someone out there who wanted to get me, like the little vultures they were, who wanted to get my Punisher and eventual implants, or at least get them on the shiny kill mate. They would obviously not know that, but very unlikely they would have known that I had implants. But it just felt so. It's like, oh, my little Tech 1 frigate is getting hunted down, like it's done some, like it's getting hunted down by the FBI or something. That's how it felt like. It felt like everyone was out there to get me. But luckily, my tanky shield Punisher survived. So that was a little bit of experience, I have to say. And the lesson I got from it was, don't go through these low-sec systems, even in speedy ships with implants. At least pretty populated ones. Now, like this. Since then, I've never dared to go to low-sec with implants, but it's just that was I'd gone for many weeks. To this Sisters of EU mission hub, back and forward. This one time could have cost me over 1 billion ISK, and I would have lost a lot of money. That would have made all the missioning I'd done those last couple of weeks void, basically, for the amount of ISK I would have lost there. It's a pretty horrific thing that could have happened, but luckily it did not happen. Now, this is now the second part of this story, or second story, that happened relatively recently. In fact, it happened yesterday from me recording this video. So, it was quite a similar experience. I was doing the same thing I'm doing right now, in fact. I was looking for wormholes. In my Anathema. And in the high-sec systems that are very close to Jita is where I was checking. And I was looking for some nice wormholes which I could take a little bit of a dip in, take a little nice jacuzzi bath in the wormholes. Unfortunately, in that jacuzzi, there were a bunch of piranhas. When I jumped into one of the wormholes, there was a whole fleet out there waiting for me. Now, why would I then go into wormholes then, and then have my implants, if I told you guys about this low-sec story, that, okay, I could have been killed there, so probably it's not a good idea to bring implants into dangerous regions of space. The reason is because I have gone into many wormholes. I'm not a wormhole player, but I've gone into many wormholes. The amount of wormholes I have visited when I was an alpha clone was just so many I could never even imagine, because I did a lot of exploration in the beginning, or not beginning, but like early to mid year of my EVE career, you could say. And I was then looking, for riches, and in all those times I had never once had my wormhole be camped, let alone the high-sec ones. So I was thinking that, okay, there is, you know, there's no really nothing to worry about. No, people don't bother camping wormholes, right? There's not, only maybe these really popular like C5, C6 wormholes they maybe can camp, you know. But there was a whole fleet there. Sabers, I had Hecates, I had all kinds of ships there, but mainly subcaps though. And this is now when I had more expensive implants than I had before. I had 3 bill worth of implants in this case, because I was recently using a rattlesnake before this whole thing occurred, like when I was making this journey with the Anathema. So I was using a rattlesnake, so I had the higher crystals in it. And I, in fact, have like upgraded it. So you maybe have, if you guys maybe have seen that I've put an Omega implant in. So it's about 3 bill worth of implants. The implants really get very expensive, and here I could have lost them. But luckily they had no smart bombs in this case. They had no smart bombs, they just had subcapitals. My Anathema then, I burned with my MWD back to the wormhole and went back through, and it was alright. I pulled through. The thing is, I could have very well died. All they needed was just one guy with smart bombs. I would have been toast. And I was hardly paying attention as well, because I was watching some YouTube videos in the background, so I wasn't even really thinking much about this. But it was just, it was very like, how do you say? My heart was racing a lot for a few seconds. It was very an experience, I have to say. Like just that one few seconds, me think, for a few seconds, I actually thought I was going to lose my implants. That's just, it was just absolutely crazy. I would have just never expected that. This is the first time I've ever encountered a wormhole camp. Never have done that before. Absolutely new thing. That was a little bit of my story, a little bit of an experience that I've had with these expensive implants in dangerous regions of space, and why I would say that it's probably not a good idea to use them, because sooner or later you will regret it, and if you do get popped, it will not be a good experience. This wormhole we just went through right now, in fact, is a C2 wormhole. I just looked it up on my second monitor, and it has in fact a connection to a C3 wormhole, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So let's see if we can scan down the C3 wormhole. It starts with 0477. That's what the kind of J code is on that. But I don't think you guys want to see that. That's not pretty interesting. The main thing is you guys want to listen to the story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video right here. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.